Skeletons are pretty underrated when it comes to defense in Clash Royale. Many players undervalue the skeletons in mid-ladder, but the players who master skeletons are the ones at the top ladder. Here are 57 cards you can counter using just skeletons. Skellies are an easy answer to the heal, fire, and ice spirits, reducing the damage by tons. By soaking up a fire spirit, you reduce the damage of a fireball to your king tower. Using the opponent's electro spirit to get easy king tower activation is an early game skill basically everyone learns. Skeletons counter goblins and spear goblins quite easily as well, leading to positive trades.
Let one spear goblin hit your tower and place skeletons on top.
Sometimes bats can get a hit on your tower, which is easily stopped by skeletons. Skeletons can also counter, well, skeletons, obviously. They can fully counter the Berserker and Bomber as well when played in the middle. This is a crucial spot which changes many of the interactions you'll be seeing ahead as well. Ice Golems, Royal Deliveries, and Barb Barrels are easy to counter by simply placing Skellies on top of them. With that Dark Goblin nerf, you no longer need to time the skeletons perfectly, and simply placing them when it's in tower range makes it another easy counter. Mini P.E.K.K.A can also be countered, but make sure your opponent doesn't have a spell to clear them out instantly. The Fisherman isn't usually sent alone at the bridge unless your opponent is desperate, but you can secure the positive trade yet again. You also can easily counter the Mega Minion, Phoenix, and Inferno Dragon without the best placements, as they have a slow hit speed and take a long time to kill each skeleton. Now moving to these slightly more difficult counters, which might require a bit of practice, you can get another King Tower activation with the Firecracker, by placing the skeletons at the center near the King Tower. Although this is easy, a bit of mistiming and you'll take some tower damage instead. Countering wall breakers is also a little tricky, but possible. You need to push the wall breakers slightly with your skellies and get that extra one hit in. Timing and positioning are both becoming important now. A musketeer can be hard countered, putting you into a +3 elixir trade. Your opponents will usually not have time to react to this, making this a very positive trade. You can fully counter a skeleton army with just the skeletons supported by both towers. Exact positioning is crucial, but the towers will usually take little to no damage regardless. The Spirit Empress can also be countered in its ground form, giving you another +2 elixir trade. The Goblin Cage Brawler can also be countered in the exact same manner by placing near the middle. A bit of practice, the right timing, and you can counter the Hunter and Sparky in a very clean way. But this does take a bit of practice. If you get it right, you can trick your opponents as well. But if you mess up, you could also lose your tower just as easily. You can use Skellies to kite away the minions and Baby Dragon, and nailing this can win you a lot of matchups in the Evo Baby Dragon meta. These skeletons also click the subscribe button, giving you a very positive trade of some amazing Clash Royale videos. Now moving on to the harder ways, the ones which only masters perform consistently. With perfect timing, you can push archers back and prevent any damage on your tower. The bandit can also be stopped completely, but this requires a lot of patience. A single mistake and there goes 600 HP off your tower. The E-Wiz and the Ice Wizard can also be fully countered with frame perfect timing. The Ice Wizard must hit only one skeleton at a time, or you're taking about 200 to 300 damage. Most players don't know this, but skeletons can fully counter guards by themselves. This is one of the least observed game mechanics, even at top ladder. The Bowler and Electro Dragon can be dealt with by skeletons, making it an insanely positive trade. These are extremely difficult to pull off, so make sure you practice it with your friends first. All of these interactions depend on the tower troops as well. Here are some more troops you can counter if you have the Cannoneer as your tower troop instead. Suspicious Bush is notorious for always getting positive elixir trades. This is the only way you can get a positive elixir trade with no damage as well. Knight can also be fully countered now, unlike the Princess Tower, which will take a hit or two in the same situation. Royal Ghost, which always secured a single hit on the Princess Tower, now gets no hits with the right positioning. The Little Prince can be countered by both the Cannoneer and Princess Tower, unless he uses his ability. 1 for 6 is a trade you will rarely get. Skellies can fully take out a Flying Machine, a very annoying card with its long range. This is a game-changing mechanic at top ladder. You can reduce the damage by Skeleton Dragons, another insanely underestimated card, by kiting one of them away to the center. The Furnace can also be fully countered with the Cannoneer, taking no damage at all. This interaction is crucial to help against dual lane pushes. Mighty Miner and Archer Queen get just a single tick of damage unless they use their ability. This is a great way to force out the ability and then counter easily using other cards. Although rarely played this way, Zappies can almost be fully countered as well, getting just a single hit on the tower. Mother Witch also gets a single hit if you surround her perfectly with skeletons, but be careful or you'll be pelted with 2 hogs. A more useful play is to counter the Lumberjack almost completely, getting just a single hit. A decent trade-off for going +3 elixir, unless of course your tower is at 1 HP, obviously. Miner gets a single hit, damaging your towers a lot less, making them a very strong counter yet again. Some of the cards are countered specifically by the Dagger Duchess though, thanks to her high hit speed. Relatively rarer plays, but that's what's necessary to make you stand out. You can fully counter a Goblin Barrel if you place your skeletons perfectly, so that 2 of them hit the last goblin and 1 hits the goblin behind your tower.
One day, Tricky Barrel, place skeletons here to activate your King Tower.
You can fully counter a Goblin Barrel with just skeletons. If you're using Cannoneer, place your skeletons here and they will fully counter a Goblin Barrel with just 1 elixir.
If you kite the skeletons using your skellies at the center, the small contribution of the other tower allows you to fully counter the skeleton barrel. A wizard can be fully countered with perfectly placed skeletons, with an amazing +4 elixir trade, but obviously you can't counter Evo Wizard this way, which is pretty unfortunate. If you were able to follow till here and still crave more cards to counter, here are some Riley level plays for you. Predict your opponent's princess perfectly and you get a +2 trade and a dead princess without a single spell used. You can fully counter a magic archer as well, but good luck learning this. It's all down to the perfection in timing and position.
This is really hard to pull off, but with this placement and timing, a magic archer will only hit your tower once. If you have nothing better in your hand or only 1 elixir, place your skeletons here, and the Dark Prince will have to hit 3 times before hitting your tower, and will not charge.
You can also count your opponent's elixir, keep account of their card cycle, and pull off a lightning prediction. Activate your King Tower by predicting your opponent's mortar at the center and placing your skeletons perfectly. It's honestly easier to get 15k trophies than learning these techniques. Now for Evo Skeletons, the interactions stay the same, but I've got 3 game-changing tips from Full Tilt Gaming you have to hear. Let's jump into his video really quick.
Here are 3 evolved skeleton tips you must know in Clash Royale. Tip number 1 is to stop trying to get maximum value every single time you use them. This might sound weird, but I see this happen way too much, especially after the recent nerfs of the evolved skeleton. They can no longer take out most pushes all by themselves. This means you don't always have to save them for the huge push that might never come. I promise you, not losing 1000 tower health is much better than having evolved skeletons in your hand. Tip number 2 is to remember to cycle as much as possible when using evolved skeletons. The odds of you getting burnt for cycling skeletons are very low. They are 1 elixir card that most of the time aren't absolutely vital for your pushes. Be willing to cycle to get more chances to get the evolution. Tip number 3 is to not always split the evolved skeletons. Splitting evolved skeletons is very difficult to defend sometimes. This means that it usually isn't a bad play, but the days of 1 elixir skeletons taking both the princess and king tower are pretty much over. Make sure you are giving the evolved skeletons the opportunity to grow exponentially, because they are useless if they get picked off right away.
If you like this video, then you might also enjoy the best tips we've got for every arena in Clash Royale, where I tell you about a bunch of interactions just as insane as these. I'll see you there.